Well, you join me here today on Baden's beautiful lodge pool. It's the first lake you see as you come into the fishery on the left hand side. It's been here a long time and there's some absolute beautiful fish to catch inside. Let's have a look at how to approach some of the swims. Let's have a walk around the lake, talk about tactics for different times of year and see how you can't catch some lovely fish from the beautiful Baden lodge pool. Well, here we are in a double swim, a really nice sociable area, peg 27 and 28. It's a corner swim, so this margin along this side here is all yours. It's overhanging with trees, the fish really like it there. But the far margin is really where it's at when you're here on Baden Lodge Pool. This spit that runs up the lake behind me, basically nobody can fish over there. So you can walk around, put a few handfuls of bait in, fish some nice margin spots, get clips up to it. You're always fishing efficiently when you're fishing on that far margin shelf. And on really warm days like today, you can stick it really tight, get it clipped up really tight, get it in the shallow water. A great way of getting bites. So let's talk about rigs and tactics for the lodge pool. For me, these fish are like a lot of fish at Baden Hall. Even though they're quite big, you've got a number of 20 pounders, the mouths aren't that big. So for me, it's about fishing with smaller baits, little 12mm, 10mm boilies, little pellets. 8mm pellets can be fantastic down here. The fish have been fed on them for a number of years. When they used to have matches on here, when the lake was a lot smaller, the pellet waggler with 8mm pellets was absolutely deadly tactic. The fish really do like pellets in here. You know, I go for really simple rigs on here, nothing too technical. Little D-rig, little wafter, it really doesn't matter. Whatever you're confident with, just keep the hook size and the bait itself quite small. And a tactic that definitely makes a difference down here is attaching a high attract PVA bag. Now it could be a little stick mix like that, a little bag of pellets, little few micro pellets, or it could be your favourite boilie in different size parcels. Try different things on the hook. It's definitely worth on the lodge trying different hook baits, trying different bags over your baited spots or just on their own caster showing fish. Once you find the winning formula, you'll be in for some electric action. This central area of the lake where you're fishing the pegs that are in the mid-20s, out in the middle there is a shallow bar. You need to be quite careful of that when you're playing fish, but it's also a fantastic feature on warm days like today where the fish use it as a patrol route. If you can get clipped up onto that feature, a great way of picking up fish. Of course, the far margin, there's lots of features, little bushes, little nooks and crannies in the bank on the far side that you can fish to, but that central bar can be absolutely brilliant. And don't forget, you don't have to fish on top of the bar. Fishing just beyond the bar, or as I like to do, just short of the bar, you can put quite a lot of bait in and get them feeding hard down in the deeper water. Well, as you can see behind me, as you come to the lower 20 pegs, you come towards what looks like a bit of an island. What a sanctuary that is for the fish. The fish really do like it down in that corner and off the front of these bushes. This is where using your marker sticks, your line clip, being extremely accurate can result in a lot more fish. The banks under the trees are quite undercut. The fish can get a long way in there. The tighter to the trees you get, the more fish you're going to catch. Well, I've just moved down to a different part of the lake. There's quite a lot of fish on the end of this new wind around the sort of bay area that's in front of me here in peg 22. And yeah, what a ferocious bite. The fish dragged the rod and the reel straight into the alarm. He's fighting really hard actually. He swam a long way from where I hooked him, and I was watching the water and I could see in my Polaroids on that shallow bar the water was really coloured up. So I thought, okay, there's some fish feeding, that's always a good sign. I dropped a little PVA bag, just boilies on there, little 10mm boilies, matching bait on the hair, little D-rig, and yeah, it's absolutely roared off. I wasn't actually going to stop here and fish, but there were so many fish around, I thought it was too good of an opportunity to miss. There we go, a nice bit of Baden gold. Beautiful young lodgepole carp, probably born in the lake. There's loads in here like this and loads of much bigger as well. Well, here we are. This is peg 20, one of the greatest swims on the lake if you ask me. You've got all of this tree line here, loads of shade for the fish to get into, but also in the open water here, about 30 to 40 yards out, you've got a big shallow plateau that the fish absolutely love. Well, how about this for an area of the lake? You've got an island, a little bun island, that splits the main body of the lake, the main horseshoe of the lodge, from a little bay here where the fish often creep into. In the winter, the fishing in this bay can be brilliant. Something to look out for when you come down here, have a look in this bay and check the colour of the water versus the colour of the water out in the main horseshoe. If it's really coloured in here, it means there's a lot of fish around. This end peg in the bottom of the bay is absolutely fantastic for stalking, close quarters fishing. Just down here now, lots of black shapes. What a great way to catch them here on the lodge, right under your feet. Well, I'm here on the other side of the bay now, at the point at which the island splits up the two parts of the lake. Peg 13, a brilliant area. You can catch them intercepting them as they come through the islands, but also fishing quite short. It's only 4 or 5 foot deep here, and the fish really do like coming into this margin, coming in down the sides. A fantastic peg. Keep back from the water, let your rods do the talking. Fish nice and close in, little handful of bait. You're sure to get a few bites here on the lodge. Well, as you can see, on this side of the horseshoe here on the lodge pool, the far margin on this side is very, very different. You've got a lot of overhanging trees, and you have to be really, really accurate to make sure that you don't cast right in the bushes. But one difference in this part of the horseshoe compared to the other side, you don't need to fish that tight to the island. There's quite a pronounced slope, and it's very, very shallow tight to the island. Come back 2 rod lengths, you're in a nice silt trough that the fish use as a patrol route. Well, here I am in peg 5, and I don't know if you can see behind me, just sort of over here somewhere, there's one little tree sat on its own. That is a bite every time. You get in this peg, fish tight to the far side, it just drops off a little bit deeper on the margin there. Really great area, especially in the spring and summer months. Well, I'm here now at the very end of the lake, pegs 1, 2 and 3. The lake's a lot wider here, it's a little bit deeper than the rest of the lake, and just like in the other side of the horseshoe, you can fish quite close to that far margin. It's a very productive area, this, all year round.